Hi, it's Jane. I've got the cats acting kind of strange this morning. But I thought we would go through and I would show you a couple of the things I've worked on and not worked on. Of course, I've not worked on this scarf at all. So I guarantee you this week we will be doing a little talk while I work on that. Some of the other things that I've worked on, of course, you guys were with me. Sorry, I don't know what these cats are doing. When I was working on this, and I'm pretty close to the length. I need to double check my length before I continue sewing anymore because I think I've reached the length that I was looking for. Okay, chill out. Oh boy. We're fixing to have cats run through here like crazy. Anyway, that, I think it's pretty close to that limit. And, of course, the romance ripple. Did work on that a little bit, so I need to move that marker up. And I know a lot of people keep their markers in place so they can see the progress they've made each week or whatnot. I don't do that, mainly because that's just not something that I think is that interesting. And the other thing is, in the past, I have left those in place and completely forgot about them. And so when I presented them at prayer shawl meeting, they had to be removed. So I've done that before. So yeah, that is basically it for what I have accomplished this week. Although I have done I will tell you, with Operation Christmas Child, I have filled 6 boxes. I had only planned on filling 4. Thought I had picked up 5, but then when I packaged them up, I found I had 6. And so I went through my budget and figured, okay, with all the different things that I have in the background, I can fill 6 boxes. And a lot of that is because I shop year-round. When I see things that are discounted, especially toys at Walmart, those kind of things, I'll pick those up. Throughout the year, I'll pick up, Hot Wheels many times. Oh my goodness, Ronan. He's just in a mood today. So, I'll pick up those kind of things. Also, water bottles. Like right now, Walmart has their plastic water bottles that have a straw in it. They have a foam covering. They've got those marked down for $1. So I picked up quite a few of those and picked up quite a few extra that I could to take to the church for our packing party. So, yeah, I've kind of done that thing. But I know a lot of people have always told me, well, Jane, that's a lot of boxes to fill. That's $60 on top of everything you put in them. Okay, no big deal. Generally what I do throughout the year, and this is actually, I've rolled the quarters, and it is just a regular prescription pill bottle, and I've actually just put that roll of quarters in there. That's $10. I set those up I have a tote that is marked Operation Christmas Child that I will set those up throughout the year, fill those. Now, if you just use loose quarters, you can actually get $10.25 in one of these. Sometimes $10.50, depending. If you have it really filled up to the top. But it's a great way to take your loose change, put your quarters in and save that money for the next year's, Operation Christmas Child. You could also use, just put your loose quarters into a jar somewhere, mason jar, whatever works for you. But I thought I would show you a couple of things that I have made for Operation Christmas Child. And I make these throughout the year. I don't always show them to you because they're specifically for Operation Christmas Child. But I'm going to show you some other ideas as well. Dollar Tree has these sewing kits. And it's got yarn, needles, a thimble, threader, a couple of buttons, little tiny scissors. They sell these for $1 each. So those are easy to pick up throughout the year. This is another sewing kit, but this is one I picked up from Walmart. And Walmart had these marked down to 75 cents one time. So I just picked up all that they had on that shelf there. Same thing, has needles. This one has a tape measure in it as well. That's the only difference in this one as opposed to this one. I think these are normally $1.50. If I'm not, I think. I'm not positive, but I think they're $1.50. And those are some ideas, to consider doing. One of the other ones is these are these soft, squishy toys. These Dollar General has for $1 right now each. And I generally will include that in a box. For the hacky sacks, I make hacky sacks just out of regular yarn, cotton yarn and acrylic, and I fill them. As you can see, this is the poly beads, and you put in about 1.9 ounces, and I will use the pantyhose when I can get them. When I make the jump ropes, and I'm going to do a video to show you how to do that. When I make the jump ropes, I save the sleeves and the top part, because you can cut out small squares or circles, and then just do a running stitch so that you can put those beads in it and form a small pouch for the beads. And then, as you're crocheting, you get to a certain point where you add those in. This is a great toy. You can also do pony beads in it. I don't remember how many ounces of pony beads they are. I want to say 1.5 ounces. And of course, because I do have the Etsy shop, I have a postal scale that I use to weigh all these on. So they're pretty accurate. Sometimes I get 2 ounces, and that's no big deal. Now, I am a part of a group on Facebook called Operation Christmas Child Sew and Craft. And many of the ladies, and I don't have a doll dress because I've got the doll dresses cut out and I haven't finished sewing them. These are those dolls that you can get at, I believe you can get them at Dollar General, but they're a little more expensive at Dollar General. But these are also ones that you find at Dollar Tree often, and they've got the little soft body, and you can make little dresses for them and make a couple of dresses out of scrap material. A blanket, you can make a sleeping bag for them. You can make a little pillow for their head. You can make all kinds of things. Make little, you can even crochet dresses, crochet skirts and a top, crochet a purse for the doll, you name it. The things you can make are endless, as well as making, and this is something I do for the older girls. Lots of times I will make them a purse, and in that purse I will include menstruation pads, usually 4 or 5 moderate and 2 heavy, and I will slip them down in there into a pouch that is waterproof, or even a like plastic. I want to say plastic, but I don't know that they're actually plastic. They may be more vinyl pouches, and then slip a couple pair of underwear in there as well. And when I do that, I also make sure that that gal gets a sewing kit in case they need to stitch the underwear up to bring them a little closer, smaller, because they're smaller. Because you can't always figure out what girls size 10 to 14, ages 10 to 14, what size underwear they're going to need. But I tend to go on the larger size. Sometimes I'll include larger and smaller, a couple pair, so that, because a lot of these girls cannot go to school when they are menstruating, because they don't have the sanitary pads and things that they need. These pads are reusable. They can hand wash them. They're pretty sturdy. They can hand wash them against rocks, those kind of things, which is the way a lot of them do in the river or the ponds or whatever. There is a young lady that she will take these dolls from the Dollar Tree and she'll open up a seam somewhere. She'll add a little more stuffing so they're a little fuller. Many times she will cut off the hair bit here, and then she will also make a wig for the doll and add that wig to the doll's head, make clothes, sew clothes for this doll, skirts, purses, crochet outfits, those kind of things. And these are absolutely adorable with what she has done to kind of firm them up, give them a little more body, because these are very soft, very minimally filled. And so she will do that. Dollar Tree lots of times has these great packs of games like Old Maid. You can include those. Regular playing cards as well. Dice. You can include dice. We are allowed to send dice. It's not always considered a betting game. Now, this is one thing that I had made, and I think because I chose such a dark color, you cannot see what it is. But these are actually crocheted gummy bears. And they're very cute. You can stuff them or leave them unstuffed. They're just meant to be something cute. You could add a key ring to it, those kind of things. You can make little bead kits with your leftover pill bottles. Make sure they're washed out. The label is taken off and that kind of thing. But those are some things that you can do for Operation Christmas Child. If you want to start looking at things to make throughout the year. Little doll blankets as well. I know a lot of people will either crochet doll blankets or make them, sew them out of fabric. They don't need to be lined or anything like that. They can be used just plain, those kind of things. They also suggest including utensils, eating utensils in some of these boxes. I've never really considered eating utensils, but those are some things that are often suggested. So that is it for the spiel on Operation Christmas Child. So I hope there are a lot of you that are following that. There are a lot of groups on Facebook that have Operation Christmas Child in their tags. They have all kinds of crafts and things that you can make. They have coloring books that you can print off to include if you cannot find the smaller coloring books. So They have craft ideas. Fishing kits. You can make fishing kits. Normally when I make fishing kits, I will include 2 to 3 hooks in it, a couple of bobbers, a lot of fishing line, and then some instructions that show them how to tie the hook with the line, and they can generally figure it out from there. A lot of kids will use a stick and tie that to a stick for their fishing line. They don't need fishing rods. You know, you can fish with some pretty simple things. But yeah, it's just a way to help a lot of those folks. A lot of those kids and boys enjoy that kind of thing. They enjoy drawing kits. They enjoy just a lot of things. Just think about what your kids, grandkids would enjoy. And don't think about the high dollar things. Sometimes think about some of those things that you can get fairly cheap. One of the other things is keep an eye out for Amazon for getting bulk items like solar calculators. Those can be used for school. Hand crank flashlights. That's a lot better than to give them something that is battery operated. Because they don't always have access to extra batteries. And even if you include 2 to 3 more additional batteries, after that, it's a dead tool. So hand crank are a great idea to use for those folks, not only for safety, but for a lot of other things, as well as whistles. Those are great to include for safety issues. You name it, and lots of times, a lot of these countries use whistles for musical things. So, something to think about. All right, are you ready for what in Tarnation? Kentucky Transit Group's giant thumbtack is the largest in the world. A giant thumbtack measuring 21 feet and 7 inches tall in Kentucky was dubbed the world's largest pen by Guinness World Records. Officials at the Transit Authority of Central Kentucky, or TAC, said they came up with the idea of a giant push pin when they were granted federal funds to refurbish their headquarters in Elizabethtown. Glenn Arney, TAC's executive director and CEO, said a portion of the funds has been earmarked for signage, so he started to research companies that would be able to create giant thumbtacks. I found one place in Florida, and they wanted $109,000 plus shipping and installation. Arney said a team of 3 employees decided to build the tack themselves, which turned out to be difficult as none of them had welding experience. He said one member of his team did what anyone else would do. He watched a YouTube video. The finished pin weighed at 3,000 pounds and measures 21 feet and 7 inches tall. A Guinness World Records adjudicator confirmed it surpassed the goal of 19 feet and 8 inches, which the organization has set as a benchmark to originate the record. You know, AI has been used for a lot of things, including creating recipes, creating crochet knit patterns that are quite frankly useless, as well as all kind of things. If you've never watched some of the AI about the predictions of Jesus Christ, devil, those kind of things, those are somewhat interesting to watch. But this one, I'm sure officials were pretty upset about. AI hoax causes thousands to show up in Dublin, Ireland for a non-existent Halloween parade. Thousands of people deceived by an AI-generated Pakistan-based website that quickly spread online lined the streets of Dublin, Ireland for a Halloween parade that didn't exist. The website, My Spirit Halloween, falsely promoted a Macness Halloween parade, leading large swaths of people to gather on the streets. Magnus is a performing arts group that had staged Halloween parades in Dublin since 2013. The COVID-19 pandemic stopped those parades until last year, but the group had not scheduled one in 2024. Initial crowds were in the hundreds and appeared to swell into thousands. It seems to be an online scam. It's really sad to see that people are being scammed. Everyone is trying to have a fun and safe Halloween. Having a parade to go to sounded really good, said the Sinn Féin councillor Janice Boylan. I know an awful lot of people turned up. It's a terrible pity that there is people out there that are trying to scam people. The thousands who showed up waited for an hour before it dawned on them that there was no parade. They gathered on O'Connell Street near Parnell Street in Dublin city centre. The hoax claimed the parade would start there and end at the Christ Church Cathedral. As they began trying to clear the streets, the Irish police force known as Gardaí put out a statement that said, "Please be advised that contrary to information being circulated online, no Halloween parade is scheduled to take place in Dublin city centre this evening or tonight." The festival of Diwali was happening in Dublin as the fake parade crowd showed up. The website that touted the fake parade appeared to have removed the listing Friday morning. And then we have, one of the campaigns taking and using AI to create something that one of the other candidates said, which is absolutely false. And AI can manipulate a lot of things. Be careful, be wary, just keep an eye out. 3 goats and a dog wandered to Massachusetts fire station. Firefighters in Massachusetts spotted 3 goats and a dog wandering loose near their station and brought the animals inside. The New Bedford Fire Department said members of Engine 5 crew spotted a mother goat, 2 baby goats, and a dog walking past their station on Acushnet Avenue without a human escort. Firefighters were concerned for their safety and, with assistance from a neighbor walking his own dog, placed a leash on the mother given to them by the neighbor and walked the goat inside Station 5. The department said in a Facebook post, the 2 baby goats followed their mother to safety. The dog accompanying the goat family was secured by the neighbor. Yep. All right, I got to change the battery. I see the battery flashing on, so let me do that and I'll get back to you. Okay, we're back. Let me get to the next story. Police warns of plastic pumpkin dangers to deer in Ohio. And this can be an issue. So if you've used those plastic Halloween, let me move this so we're not looking directly into the bathroom. If you've used those kind of decorations, consider keeping them safe from the deer. Police in Ohio are warning Halloween revelers about the dangers posed by plastic pumpkin buckets after multiple deer were spotted with the containers stuck over their heads. The Westlake Police Department said on social media that officers have responded to several calls in recent days about deer with plastic Halloween buckets stuck on their faces. The deer, of course, want nothing to do with the officers approaching them. The department warned residents against leaving the buckets where they can be accessed by wildlife. Please check your yards for these hazards and at least remove the plastic handle, which tends to wrap around the deer's head, causing the issue. Bears do some of the craziest things, but one of the things that's always funny is seeing them walk upright like a human. Security camera catches bear rolling trash can like a human. An Alabama couple's home security camera captured the moment a bear stood up on its hind legs to roll their trash can out toward but not quite to the road. Saraland residents Bryce and Brianna Hoven shared video that showed the bear standing on its back legs, putting its front paws on the handle of the wheelie bin and pushing and pulling it away from the house in a human-like manner. Whoever dressed up as a bear and nicely rolled our trash can out to the road, thank you, Brianna joked on social media. The couple clarified that the trash never made it to the curb. He kept dragging it down the driveway another 15, 20 feet and just laid it down in the neighbor's yard and just started lying in the trash and eating it. The couple said the bear made a second attempt at the trash the next morning, but the animal stumbled over a ladder and a lawn chair. So even bears can make mistakes in the dark, I guess, you know? Now, this next story comes from What on Earth Were You Thinking? Georgia police urge couple who reconcile to get a room after incident. The Georgia Police Department urged couples seeking to reconcile to kindly get a room rather than copulating in the grass between businesses. The Livonia Police Department said officers responded to a public indecency complaint reported in the grass between McDonald's and Raceway near exit 173 of Interstate 85. Well, the stupidity of some people never ceases to amaze us. So we have some more helpful hints for those of you visiting our wonderful city, the department said in a Facebook post. If you decide to exit I-85, Georgia exit 173, with your life partner while on a road trip to reconcile your relationship, please don't reconcile in the grass between McDonald's and Raceway. Couples were urged instead to get a room, go home. Don't reconcile in broad daylight in the grass beside the street. If you're stupid enough to do this, please don't stop in Lavinia. The police said the amorous pair who prompted the warning are now both facing publicly indecency charges, as they should be. So, you just have to wonder about people, you know what I mean? You know, kind of like the Halloween parade in Mount Pleasant, PA, where someone chose to do what looked like Secret Service and Trump as a jailer, I think, with Kamala Harris in handcuffs, was their parade float. That was a rather stupid one, and both sides do it. We have Democrats who have done all kinds of things at different rallies for Trump as well, you know, like naked effigies of Trump, putting him in a jumpsuit, all kinds of things like that. It's uncalled for, and it should be condemned. And I have a feeling that it'll be a rather interesting thing to see who put up that float later on. So, that is it for that portion. Now we're going to move on to the devotional, Promises from God's Heart. Promises from God's heart for His victory. Now I know that the Lord gives victory to His anointed. He will answer him from His holy heaven with mighty victories from His right hand. Psalm 26. I put no trust in my bow. My sword does not bring me victory. But you give us victory over our enemies. You put our adversaries to shame. In God we make our boast all day long, and we will praise your name forever. Psalm 44, 6-8. A horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory comes from the Lord. Proverbs 21:31. The sting of death is sin. That's true. And the power of sin is the law. But thanks be to God, He gave us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 15:56-57. Whatever has been born of God conquers the world. This is the victory that has conquered the world, our faith. 1 John 5:4. The righteous man will be remembered forever. He will not fear bad news. His heart is confident, trusting in the Lord. His heart is assured. He will not fear. In the end, he will look in triumph on his foes. Psalm 112:6-8. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? The Lord is on my side as my helper. I shall look in triumph on those who hate me. Psalm 118:6-7. Therefore, since we have been declared righteous by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ. We have also obtained access through Him by faith into this grace in which we stand, and we rejoice in the hope of the glory of God. Romans 5:1-2. And that is it for today's video. For those of you who tend to let the donkeys and the elephants tear us apart, please remember there's another election in 4 years. We will get through this one way or another, even if our candidate loses or our candidate wins. It's not a big deal. But as always, vote your conscience. Go and vote if you haven't already voted in early voting. But like I said, don't let these guys tear us apart. We're all one thing. We're all human beings, and we all deserve to be heard. We all deserve to be recognized. All right, we all deserve a little kindness from one another. So I'll see you again soon. Everybody have a great week. Bye.